All right. So yeah, not too much on the agenda tonight. Interested in hearing progress, uh, or another demo of the portfolio if you have one. Um, Otherwise, I wanted to jump into this last topic, which is tangentially related to portfolios, kind of along the lines of the stuff we talked about last week with leveling up. But the new GitHub profile readmes seem to be relatively easy to set up. I have not even set up mine, so I figured I'd walk through that tonight. And but they look cool, and they look like really interesting to put on a like to be the front page of your GitHub profile instead of the boring default that GitHub offers. So we can dive into that. Probably won't take too long. But yeah, does George have any updates on his portfolio to share?
Uh, a lot of it is on paper. Like I did make some changes to the deployed version. So now the links that are on top, the nav bar will actually work and they're linking to other sections of the page. I also added the link functionality for the resume. I'll share my
Okay,
screen.
cool.
Oh, I think I can't share it because you're sharing.
Go for it.
Let's see. Okay, so this is the actually deployed version. Again, it looks very similar to before, but now whenever you click on one of these things, it actually goes to a section of the page.
Nice.
I tried moving these two around, putting projects up here, but I don't know. I was not, and I was playing with the background colors, but I don't know. I ended up switching it back to the way it originally was because I think it just didn't look as good once I actually did it. And then to each individual project, I have a link to the live version of the application, and a link to the GitHub for each project. That's pretty much it. So I've written down on paper all of the functionality for what to do when the screen gets smaller. Pretty much, these two get on top of one another, and these two are in one row, and then this has its own row. But I'm actually I haven't worked on this too much, but I'm having trouble linking that resume. I'm not sure, like if that's something I do through the backend, like I create a route, or if it's just something that I just do with HTML and link it to something that's on the root directory. But yeah, like right now it's linking to nothing. But yeah, I'm not sure if
Yeah, it'll. I mean, it looks like that link is right. You just need to serve um, your static assets or put your PDF somewhere where it can be accessed.
okay.
Um, so you have that static directory. Is it in there?
Yes, I do. Yeah.
Yeah. Is the
Oh,
PDF?
I'll put it in the static.
Yeah.
Okay. And then hold on. And then what oh, okay. And then when I'm linking it on the HTML, I'll just put /static that
You
file.
shouldn't. It should be serving from static, so you shouldn't need to do anything. You might have to restart the server, or it might even be accessible right now.
Let's see. All right. So this is the local server,
Yeah.
localhost. Yeah, but let me see what I actually have it on. So yeah, so right now I just have it linking directly to the file without any routing. So href.
Yeah. Where so like your CSS file, for example,
Yeah.
go to that, like where that is brought in your HTML.
Okay. Right here.
Oh, okay, so you are serving it out of the static directory. Yeah, so you should just need to put /static/.
Okay. Static. Okay.
Yeah.
There we go. Awesome.
Cool.
Yeah, I was like, why is this not working? Why can it not find the file? But yeah, very easy fix. But yeah, so I'll push that to the Git, to the repository on Heroku, and once that will be linking to that page. But yeah, again, a lot of the changes that I plan on making to it and I have done on paper, just haven't gotten to it, is just the responsiveness of the page when it gets smaller.
Cool.
Yeah. But that's pretty much what I got.
Sweet.
Yeah, I think it looks good. Look at it this way: you're ahead of everyone else in your class so far.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, some of them have like some portfolio sites as well, but most people do not. So.
All right, so let's jump into this. I'm going to toss this link into the chat so that folks can follow along. I can find the chat. Yeah, this is basically an article that walks through it, and I haven't done it yet, so we're just going to basically do what the article says. Yeah, there were some of the demo or like example ones I looked at that I thought were pretty dope, but it essentially allows you to use a README so you get markdown, but this becomes, instead of what my boring one it looks at right now, which is like the default GitHub one where you just have like pinned repos and your contributions and activity stuff. You can add an entire like README and stuff. And I thought this was really cool. This article goes into that, like how to bring in stats and what languages you use and all sorts of that stuff. So we're just going to walk through this real quick. It appears, so we need to create a new repo that is the same as our username. So we can do that. New repository. Oh, look, I found the secret. Found it all on my own. Nobody told me about it. Yeah, and we want to README because that's what it's going to read or use. And I don't need a template. Sure, let's create that repository. So now if I go to here, I should get that README up top. Yes, I do. So then we can, I was looking at some of them, I don't think you can get rid of the pinned or contributions or anything like this. Even this dude's, it's here, but it pushes them down below whatever you put. So it's kind of like, you can change.
Yeah, I think you can get rid of your pins.
Can you?
There's that customized pin button and you uncheck them all. I could be wrong, but I think that's how it works.
All right, well, I don't necessarily want to get rid of those repos, but we'll see. I might, because I liked this. This looks so much cooler because that's how he's got these projects linked, and that like it's literally the same thing as what the pin shows, but
Oh, that is cool.
Yeah,
so just like cool. And you can change the color because I looked at this briefly. You can change the colors and stuff. So let's do that right now. Let's go. Let's see. We created the README, styling it. Yeah, we need to be able to update this. So I'm not good at Markdown. So this is another repo that I have linked in here called GitHub README stats. That is what everybody seems to be using, but this dude created it and hosts it. So there's like these predefined themes, and you can also like choose your own colors, but tells you how to like pull in like details on specific repos or just summaries for entire usernames and all the different things that you can do with it. So we'll use this. And
Where it says A++, what is that referring to? Like, that's giving you a rating?
oh yeah, on the card thing,
Yeah.
on this, yeah, it's based on your activity.
Okay.
So we're gonna see, yeah. If I just open this image, and I want to change the username to me. There we go. Now let's see. That's that theme. What other themes do we have? Where'd that go? Oh gosh, show me what the themes are. All available themes. There we go. Oh, look, they've got the synthwave. Match my repo. Or match my VS Code. All right, so if I do something like this and put this here, I don't have a banner image. Everybody seems to be having these banner images. Let's say, what intro can I copy? Copy my LinkedIn intro. This is also cool. The technologies and tools. How did he do this? The cool thing is that I can go into their repos and find his and look at the source code. Where's raw? I want readme raw. And voila. So he's got this. Kind of make them our own. So what do I deal with? What all are these? I hate Markdown. Let's see if I can steal this color. And I want, sure, I don't want Red Hat stuff. Leave Kubernetes, Docker, not a fan of Postgres, not a fan of Vue. Make Golang, take Python off. All right, just keep it at that for starters. Why are we quoted? Oh, those are changes. That's what it's showing, the green line. Cool. So like now mine has my red-ish background color, which I think is cooler. Let me swap these.
Where are those icons coming from? Like the monkey wrench?
Yeah, so they're here, but one of the sites, because this is what I did with the Discord, if you go to emoji, like, I don't know, I'll just do wrench emoji. I don't remember what the site is, but it's like Emoji World or something like that. Emoji, yeah, so you can see the ones I clicked on. It's like, here, wrench emoji, Emojipedia.
Okay.
You can go here, and then you can just like copy it, and it copies that code. Or you can grab like. Unfortunately, I've tried to pick ones that are for other platforms, but they never end up showing up. They show up like usually whatever one is showing up here. So, and then you can come into wherever you want and just paste it as is, and voila. That's the easiest way I've found to like copy emojis. That's what I did with the Discord. Cool. So let's say my init commit. Make changes. Oop. Cool. Of course, one would keep building this out, but I have no idea what I'm going to put in there as of yet. But I do like. I am planning on like doing some. These are just images that people have made, having some header image. Let's look at the different stats. So I have this one. Let's look at like. Let's see, these are the 4 that he's got. So yeah, here, if you just append, so the one that pulls in like the summary of everything is just /API. Then we got top langs, API/top langs, API/pins. This is the one that's already there. And then you can pin you can pin the specific repo. So let's see. Yeah, so if I want my top languages, you can like hide specific languages that you don't want to show, and let's use the same background color. And then specific repos that I want to call out. Let's call out. Let's see. How do I? What's the repo name? It looks like. This one. Let's call out this one. Sure, we'll grab this one too. I change this to me. Change the link. update our background color. Looks very loud, but we'll keep it for now. Let's see. If I push down. Don't know how to push this down to another line and break after this in Markdown.
I think you do 2 spaces to create a new line. Oh.
I don't know. Force break. I don't use Markdown like ever. All right, or we can just fall back to regular old HTML if that's actually going to work. Hey, that worked. I think I can. Oh gosh. It's probably a terrible idea, but all right, let's look at this. Cool. Links directly to repos. So yeah, I wonder if I turn off. Patrick, it went to popular repositories.
Oh, it does?
Yeah.
Feel that blows.
Yeah, it's annoying. Which is like larger because then, yeah. All right, so I'll just leave it at that. So that's the gist of what I wanted to demo. Of course, I need to clean this up and get a header and have some consistent formatting or something. This is a lot of red. I like it here. I'm not a fan of it as a background here, but yeah, that's the new GitHub profile thingamajiggy, and I think that's it. Yeah, this article I linked has a bunch of folks, and they all look pretty dope. It can give you some ideas of like, this is real simple, but he's got like his banner image. Most of them that I saw have these banner images.
So it's allowing you to put a GIF up there as well?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yep. So yeah, that's
Nice.
all I had.
Yeah, to the MySpace days.
It is kind of, and just kind of throw up whatever you want to represent yourself. And
Yeah. They just need a little song that you can add to your page.
oh my gosh, if you can include images, I wonder if it removes media tags.
Yeah, I would hope so.
Oh my gosh, what if you could embed JavaScript? Hold up. Let's just do like old school. Let's just okay, it puts it out as text. What if I do like swear that's yeah, it's that.
So it's disabling all JavaScript, right?
What was that?
It's disabling all JavaScript.
Yeah, it looks like that maybe. Let me just change this to oh, it's got that there, but I don't recall if this is. I thought that was right, but the HTTP might be throwing it off. Yeah. Anyways, I would assume that they probably disable it or whatever, but it's worth a try. That would be true old school MySpace days.
Oh yeah, for sure.
No, I don't want to say
Cool. How many people do you see like this GitHub profile page thing? Like many people doing. I know some people. I know it's like taking off and it's relatively new, but I was wondering like how many people would actually like start adding a README to their profile page.
I don't know. I mean, I feel like it's like the only way to put like an intro thing of yourself here. So it's probably like the more people that find out about it, like I don't know. Obviously, it's up to people, and it doesn't default to it. And there's nothing in GitHub that when you sign up and create an account, where it's like enter your bio and enter your all this stuff. But I think for anybody that wants to like have that information or have like a nice space, this
Yeah.
is an opportunity to do that. I mean, the fact that it has seemed to be taken off and I've heard of it, like I've heard of it a lot. I never got around to doing it until now because there's nothing, like I'm not really gaining a ton, but I think it's obviously going to make the presentation of my GitHub repo nicer. So I imagine it's like that. It's the people that want to show off and people that really don't care and aren't on GitHub a ton, probably whatever. Yeah, I don't know how popular it's going to be. Like, I'm not going to say. I think it's going to become the staple where everybody's going to have one of these going forward. Probably not, but I think the people who
We're like very active on it and showcasing their GitHub a lot. Yeah. So with regards to GitHub, I know like it's a good idea to like make sure it's all looking good and all, but for potential employers because they're visiting it, or recruiters, whatever it may be. But is that something that actually does happen often? Like as a recruiter, or like if the recruiters or employers actually visit potential employees' GitHub pages?
Sometimes not. So I have, if I see that stuff's linked, I've looked, because generally that will give me like a project to ask them about, because me, I love talking about people's projects the most and what they've done in that. So if there's something there that I can look through, I'm probably not gonna dive deep into the code, but I can be like, all right, well, here's this something, and then I can bring it up in an interview and we can talk about it because it's there. I've had like recruiters who have looked, but if I was to take it at face value, every recruiter I've talked to has looked at my GitHub portfolio. I don't believe 99% of them, because that's all they say. Yeah, I looked at all your stuff, or I get some canned email that's like, yeah, I looked at your stuff. I'd love to hire you for this like Java position. It's like, dude, I have no Java stuff on anywhere. But I'm sure you looked at my stuff. But then there's some that have. So what I'd say is it doesn't hurt. It's only going to help to have that stuff there and have it nice and presentable and make it easy for somebody to see your work. Yeah. Cool. What other questions do folks have? Or we can digress into debauchery.
I guess I have a question on like recruiters themselves, right? Like, I'm actually I don't even know what recruiters, besides the whole, besides the general idea that they're recruiting people for positions, like I don't really understand like who these people are, who it is that they're working for.
Yeah.
Is it like a company, and a company has like, say, their own recruiters, and those people are out looking for people to fill that company's positions? Or are these just general, like, people who are looking to place people in jobs? Like, I really don't understand who recruiters are in the tech industry.
Yeah, so there's both flavors of what you mentioned. There's the ones that work for tech recruitment companies. So their job is to, like, their clients are other tech companies, and they're trying to fill positions that may or may not be publicly like disseminated, like publicly posted somewhere, and they take a commission, and that's how they make their money, and that's how the company makes its money, is they charge these companies X number of dollars to go find people for them, and they basically offer like, hey, we'll screen them and make sure that this person like somehow isn't just someone off the street, but kind of knows what they're talking about and kind of has some experience. And then they'll set you up, and usually it's like a low tier recruiter and then a recruiter manager or account manager or some other title who like actually faces with the company. And so you'll have the initial screen or call with the low level recruiter, and then you'll be put in touch with the account manager or account liaison or whatever. And they'll tell you more about what that company specifically, and they're the ones that actually have the relationship. Like they'll probably know who the engineering manager is for that company, and they've probably placed other people with that company before. So they're also trying to like get you prepared for the interview because it's in their best interest to only present people who have a higher than not likelihood of actually being hired. Obviously, the company isn't going to keep paying them to find them engineers if they keep giving them people who have never programmed in their life. It's not going to be worth their time. So there's a little bit of filtering there. The issues I have with them is they, and Patrick can probably tell you some stories, is that they will like hound you and call you for like, how did your once you start like interviewing with the company, they'll start doing all this prep and try and get you on the phone to prep you and ask you questions and tell you a little bit about what types of questions to expect, which that part's nice. We've had some that will like straight up give you answers because what they do is like the people that they've had interview with the same company beforehand, after those interviews, they'll have a follow-up call and be like, what questions did they ask you? What was the coding test like? What was yada, yada, yada. And they'll get all this information and then they'll pass it on to you when it's your turn to interview. And then they'll do the same thing to you after your interview. They'll call you up immediately and be like, hey, how was it? What's the general vibe? If you were to get an offer tomorrow, how likely are you to take it? What questions were asked, and like all this data collection off you, because they're going to use that to help the next person with that company. So, I mean, and that kind of works. That's helpful. And then it's also kind of annoying. So then the other kind of recruiters are the ones that are actual like HR talent recruitment for the company. And so these are, I mean, the easiest ones to point at are like the Facebook or Amazon recruiters that you get like in your LinkedIn message. It's like, hey, I'm like there's an opening and we're recruiting. And those are actual people that work for actual Amazon or Facebook or whatever as recruiters. There are other like not FANG companies that have these, and they're doing consistent outreach looking for engineers, but they're actually employed by the company that they're hiring for, and they're trying to also do that screening, but kind of get you. It's kind of the same process, but they're not gonna like give you answers or whatever. They're just gonna try and find engineers and get you an interview scheduled and do the screening and stuff.
Yeah, and those people are probably not on a commission basis or anything like that. Rather, more like making sure that they're getting, good talent through.
Yeah, they're less. I wouldn't say that they're not on commission because I've heard of some that still get, but usually it's not as much as like the recruitment agencies. Like the recruitment agencies like double dip because they charge you, at least in my experience and talking to some of them, is that they charge the companies that they're hiring for a fee to like go find people. And then the actual, like that's the business. And then the actual recruiters get a percentage of whatever salary they get you. So it's kind of in their best interest to get you a higher salary, but it's also not because they're going to be taking a cut of whatever they can get you. And if the company comes back to them and says, well, we can only pay this person $80K, and we can't pay them anymore, and you want $80K, well, if it wasn't for that recruiter, you could get $80K, but that recruiter is going to come back and like more or less tell you like you can get 72 or 75 or whatever, because they want to make sure they can get their cut. So they're going to like, obviously the company can offer you whatever, but they're going to try and edge you down to something more realistic. Or they might fib a little bit. It gets to this like gray area, because they want to get paid. The internal ones, aren't going to do that. I think the only commissions that I've seen is like finding good talent, and they earn like I would say also, I guess it's probably like less than a commission. It's like a performance. It's like, hey, you brought in this person. They've been very well. Like you found them. Here's an extra bonus or whatever. It's not directly tied to like the salary that they get or, you know, just filling a body in the seat. It's like, actually, I'd say it is filling a body, but it's making sure it's a more qualified body because they actually, you know, you work at the same company. So if you're not there for longer than like a year, that person's still going to be around. It's not like the recruitment company just got paid and is off on something else type of thing. So, yeah. Anything to add, Patrick, to that? Because you've been dealing with them a lot lately.
You pretty much summed it up perfectly. I mean,
I've done it a lot too. So,
I mean, literally the past month, that's all it is. And then, well, I told you this earlier. They'll fall off the face of the earth for like 2 freaking weeks, and then all of a sudden they're like, "Oh, hey, by the way, it's the hiring company's fault, but I'm really pushing them to get you this job because they really liked you." So that's literally what happened with Printful. So yeah.
Cool.
yeah, it's
Patrick, like, did you? So, like, for that last, if I recall correctly, like, you're currently were able to get, you know, a job. Was that through a recruiter or was that through like your own means?
Like the current job I have.
Yeah, like I think last week it was mentioned that you have like you're in a current job right now, and then you're applying to other places as well. And then, but for the job that you currently have at the moment, if it's a software engineering job, was that was it done through the help of a recruiter as well?
So actually, and if you looked at Paul, he just grinned. It was the help of Paul.
I'm a recruiter, right?
He's in a couple of different chats that he's always looking at to help people find jobs, and he was looking at someone in Erie posted to a Slack chat and introduced me that way and had me get a hold of him.
Cool.
But I mean, so a lot of the other jobs definitely are, but the majority of everything else has been through recruiters.
Wow.
So
that's crazy. That's, I'm like just now realizing like how big of a role these recruiters are playing.
Yes and no. They do, but they don't. I've dealt with them a lot. I've never taken a position as a result of recruiter. So I've interviewed with them and I've gotten job interviews through recruitment agencies, but none of those positions I've taken. And now that's not saying a lot because I go on a butt ton of interviews and I don't take most of them because I'm just doing them mostly for fun. But but the point I'm trying to make is like, they do, but they don't, because it's also possible to just find companies and interview with them like you normally would. I guess the best way to like frame this is because there's such demand. It's like buying a house, all right? At least this is what I did when I was buying my house. Was I went and found not one real estate agent, but like 30 real estate agents. I was calling every firm in the area and every independent person that I could find. And I was like, every single one of them, I was like, hey, I'm looking to buy a house. This is what I'm looking for. These are the things I'm looking at. Go find me some. And they would all tell me, they'd all give me their card and be like, well, if you have any questions, everything else, like call me. I'm like, I've got like 30 other real estate agents that are looking for me. You go find me the best one and I'll sign it. And that's basically what I did. Was I just let these people go find real estate for me. And when somebody came back with a better place than another one that was in the the right type of place I was looking for in the right range with somebody that was selling that I could negotiate with, and they basically teed it up, and then I just started putting in offers, and we that's what happened. But it's like the same thing here with recruiters. It's don't tie yourself to one, like use them as a tool to go find jobs for you. Most of the time they're going to have them. That's why they're reaching out to you or you're reaching out. But like, you can basically put your name into their thing and you're going to get calls for positions, and they're going to like, cause once you're in their system, you might work with somebody one time and then another person from the same exact place is going to call you and be like, hey, yeah, your name came up. Well, I'm looking to fill a position, yada, yada, yada. It's literally because what they do is you're going to have the one, but they put you in the system. And now anybody else at that company that's a recruiter who's looking to fill positions does their search, and you might come up in that search and they're going to give you a call. So if you look at it that way and as like, hey, I'm just going to keep doing my own looking, but I'm also going to have all these other people go look for me as well and bring that stuff to me. That means like when I'm not working, I'm working as well because I have other people doing that work for me. And I think that's probably the better way to look at recruiters, as kind of like a tool.
Yeah. Cool.
No offense to any recruiters that might see this recording, but you're just cool. Yeah. If you ever need recruiter names, I've got hella business cards.
Sweet. Looking for senior software engineers.
They're for anything. I mean, the tech places, most of them don't, like, it's not particular levels, it's companies. So,
Yeah.
and a lot of them, like the ones that I have that deal primarily in like the DMV, like DC, Maryland, Virginia area, it's not for any particular roles. There's just a butt ton of tech companies down there, and they're hiring all sorts of different things. So those companies partner with those companies, and so whatever those companies are looking to hire, they're going to go find people for it. So it's all different types of things.